You need to seek the other half of you within yourself. Let me say that again. You need to seek the other half of you within yourself, and that's on T. Nah, but for real though, Spirit has been telling me this message of like, a lot of us spend a lot of time seeking, excuse me, a lot of us spend a lot of time seeking what we lack within ourselves, within another individual. And that's when we get that needy energy of like, I need that, I want that from this person. I need to be in a relationship. You know, there is a huge difference. I've been telling a lot of people this. There's a huge difference between needing a relationship and wanting one. We are human beings. We get that we want companionship. We do. We thoroughly do. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't need one. It shouldn't be a necessity. It should be an addition to what we already have within our lives. You know what I'm saying? And when I say seek the other part of you within yourself, so if you're innately a divinely masculine individual, i.e. like myself, I'm going to seek the other half of myself from within me. And what is that other half of me? That is my divine feminine energy. I'm going to seek my divine feminine energy from within me. I'm not going to seek that from within a woman. I'm not going to seek that from another energetic partner, because if I seek that from another person, then I'm going to be siphoning their energy and feeding off of them like a vampire and getting what I need. But if I meet myself at that energetic level and I seek my feminine other half, I have no need to seek that from within someone else. It is in addition to what I am already feeling. I don't need that other half of me to be sought out from another part of someone else. Because other people can feel that. Other people can feel when you're in a needy energy. Other people can feel when you're trying to get something from them. And I have been one of those individuals who have been in a position where I have needed other people to fulfill those aspects of me. You're not seeking for the other half of somebody. You're seeking for somebody who's whole in themselves so you can come together and be and be whole together. That's a beautiful thing when you have two whole individuals come together and they don't need anything from each other, but they enhance each other. They build each other up. There's nobody building the other person. This is not build a bear, build a, so build a dude, build a chick. I'm not having to build you up. But you see, in relationships, we will be triggered. We will have these little things that we thought we healed from that will come up, and that's completely fine. But I'm talking about aspects that you're seeking, aspects that you should develop deeply in yourself before you even step in union with anybody else. Those aspects and those layers of you that you should have shedded that will actually tarnish and ruin this relationship if you don't work on those things before you step into union with somebody else. Because you see, before you step into union with somebody else, you have to step into union with yourself. And that comes from the saying of know yourself before you know someone else. Get to love yourself and love, 333, and love yourself before you can love another. Or you can't love another until you love yourself. Cliche, but it's true. And what is loving yourself? Loving yourself is seeking the other half of you that you seek in others from within. And a lot of you may be like, how do I do that? I've never done that in my entire life. I've never even fathomed or thought to do that, Ja. Why would you even bring that to my existence or my conscious mind? Because how do I even look for that other half of what I could be seeking from within others? And how do I know what I'm seeking from within others? Is because I haven't known this whole time. So how would I know that? But now it's about being consciously aware of the things that you may be seeing that are patterns within yourself that you've seen from relationships. Are you seeking that nurturing care from someone else? Are you seeking that leadership or kindness or love? Look at the patterns that you've experienced in your relationships and start seeing that, maybe that's something I do need to build up within myself. Do I need to build up more confidence in myself? Do I need to build more love up within myself? Do I need to start romanticizing my life even before someone gets here? I always talk about being in the seasons of preparation, and right now is the perfect season because it's winter, things are dying. We can release things. We're in a new fiscal year. We can shed layers from who we used to be as lovers, as, as people who dwell in the energy of love, who are love. We can start creating different versions, or a different version with ourselves, and getting more in line with the highest version of love, the eternal love, the love that's unconditional, the love that has no strings attached. But we can't get in touch with that divine eternal love until we become whole in ourselves. How do we even know when you're whole in yourself, Ja? I'm hearing someone say. Well, you know when you're whole in yourself, when you know you're not in need and seeking and looking and waiting. You know you're not feeling those things. There's an amazing psychologist I've really been getting into, and I've been into this literature for a while, but Carl Jung, amazing. If you don't know this individual, check him out. He was an amazing psychologist, and he talks about the anima and the animus, right? The anima and the animus. And the anima is the feminine nature of yourself, and the animus is the masculine nature of yourself. No matter if you're a man, woman, whoever you identify as, we all have both. We all have both a feminine and a masculine nature within ourselves. And when we come into balance with those two things, the feminine and the masculine aspects, that is the wholeness. It's a lot of individuals in our society right now that are seeking other people to fulfill that role that we really should be fulfilling ourselves. Because if you don't fulfill that role, if you don't fulfill that role within yourself first, you're going to be seeking that from somebody else. You're going to be searching from all different relationships. Because a lot of times at a young age, we seek that from our parents. And when we don't get that from our parents, that's when we start to seek that in romantic partners, friendships, mostly in romantic partners. We start to seek the things that we did not receive as kids, or we do the opposite. So our parents are usually our first, definitions of how our other half of our innate natural self is. And then if we don't get that built up within us to show us that, hey, like, I am your mother, I am your father, I am your guardian, I am your parent, and I'm going to show you the other aspect of yourself, but I'm also going to remind you that this is an aspect that you have in yourself, because all others are a reflection of ourselves. So when you get with a woman, you get with a man, you get with a partner, they are a reminder of the things that you already have within yourself. So when you meet their anima, when you meet their animus, when you meet their divine feminine, when you meet their divine masculine, you're meeting yourself. So if you build that aspect of yourself, and you build your wholeness of the other aspect of you, and you know truly who you are, and you know your wholeness, and you're not half, then you get to meet another whole part of yourself. You get to meet another. You ever met someone and it was just like, wow, you literally you're scarily, is that a word? Scary? Scaring me, frightening how much you're similar to me. And not in a toxic sense, but in an enlightening, peaceful, tranquil sense. That's what it's called when you meet someone else's other part that exists within you. But in order to meet that other part of them, it has to be whole within you. Because guess what you're going to do if you're not whole within yourself? So guess what's going to happen if you're not whole within yourself, and you also are with somebody who's not whole in yourself? You're both going to be taking from each other. They're going to be taking from your aspect, and you're going to be taking from their aspect, and there's going to be neither of you left, and you're both going to be energetically drained. You're going to be wondering why. And that's a lot of the time when we get in these relationships and we wonder why there's no give and take, where there's no ebb and flow, why there's no balance in relationship, because there's no balance within the self. And I want you to know you have to continue to take care of yourself in a relationship, because you can also still go back to how you were by feeling like your wholeness can be cut while in a relationship, and you can feel drained then. You have to stay whole in yourself. You have to continue to work and give yourself love too, even within a union. You have to stay in union with yourself to stay in union with others. You have to build that up within you. You have to have that, because When you have that internal union with yourself, you can have that internal union with other people. Does this make sense? So to have you, my neck wants to crack so bad, but to have this union with self is so important. And it takes small little steps, and it's not going to the toxic extreme of saying, well, I don't need no man, I don't need no woman, I don't need nobody. It's not that you're saying that, because there's two different spectrums of extremes here, right? There's extreme independence and there's hyper independence or hyper dependence. Extreme independence and hyper dependence, right? And you don't want to be on either side of those. You don't want to be on the super dependent, and you don't want to be on the super independent where you think you don't need anybody, right? And you don't want to be hyper fixated and saying that I need you in my life and I don't know what I am without you. Well, you don't know what you are without them, because the other half of them is helping fill the void in you. And that's not what people are for. Other people are to remind 11:11. Other people are other individuals. There's love coming to you. I just want to say that. If you're not already in a connection, in a union, there's love on its way, and it's right around the corner. Because I've been seeing 11:11. It's if union is something that you seek and want, especially at this time, and you're open to it right now, just be prepared. And to get prepared is to have a balance of the union inside of you. Understand you have to be whole in self first. Whole in self first to attract what you desire. Whole in self first before you attract what you desire, okay? And what is the wholeness in self? It is your soul becoming whole. Your soul is a very potent, powerful energy. It's an entity. It's a cell in the body of the universe. It's an individualized God frequency, right? But I'm getting this download that for some reason when we come here, for the other half of your soul forgets who it is, and we become. I feel like when you're a child, you know you're whole. You have all these dreams, aspirations. Your soul knows that it's not just one aspect; it's both. It's not feminine, it's not masculine, it's both together. And understand, like when you're a kid, that's why kids have so much wonder. Kids are a light. And what is the light? It's God. So when we enter back into that light, we enter back into our wholeness. That's why kids remind us of who we used to be, and who we used to be was whole. Before the world tore us apart and told us we had to go and be this gender and we had to go and be that gender, and we had to only associate with these attributes, and we had to disconnect from the other aspects of ourselves spiritually, internally, and stripped us further away from being our whole selves. We had to identify with only these attributes because you're a man or you're a woman. That's not how it works spiritually. On a deeper, in-depth level, we should be attributing all the aspects of personalities, of emotions, and because you're a man, you can't express. No, that's embodying the feminine nature. Because you're a woman, you can't lead, you can't be determined, you can't go out and get it. That's embodying the masculine nature, getting things done. And when you find yourself in a state of balance, you don't find yourself in a state of lack. When you're lacking, you chase. You feel like you need to chase because what you are chasing is running from you. And what's running from you isn't you anyway. Because if it was you or if it was yours, it wouldn't run from you. That's the divine reminding you that, hey, you don't chase, you build from inside and you attract from the outside, from the inside out. So, like I said, I'm feeling like right now you might be in a state of confusion a little bit when it comes to this because you've only been on one side of the spectrum. But the thing is, when we go through things in these relationships, and I was telling somebody the other day, I don't know why I have this gift, but I can know why I was gifted the Ashe, of course. But I have this gift, right? Of when I am in relationships and things could go sour, I have the ability. I keep seeing my birthday. This is interesting. Rebirth. Birthday, my birthday, 5/14. I keep seeing 11 and ones. But what was I saying anyway? That was so important that I had to interrupt what I was saying. But let me just track to something else. But when you're in a stage of where I was saying that in past relationships, I haven't allowed my past experience to dictate how my future relationships were going to look. I never said like, whoa, they did this to me, they did that to me, they did blah, 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 and then now I'm going to do this and go forward and treat other people this way. And when I did it one time, I realized I'm not holding myself. My nervous system is completely off. This is not me. And I knew it wasn't me, but I did it anyway. And so when you start to know yourself and you're whole in yourself, your intuition becomes just undeniable. There's no confusion. You feel, you hear, you see things. Clairvoyance, claircognizance. Everything is potent. And you already hear the intuition, the soul speaking like, nope. That person not meant for you. Y'all not aligned. Y'all not compatible. And you're like, okay. And it's loud. It's not as quiet as it. Not like anxiety loud, but it's loud. Like, that's not gonna work out. So don't even try that. That person's here for this. Keep them in this category. But before, you would hear that voice very quietly, nah, that person's not meant for you. And you'd be like, I don't truly believe you. They fine. We like to do similar things. We're both spiritual. We like to travel. We have decent conversation. I think we can work. In your energetic body, your neurological body, your soul is like, nah. But it's so quiet you can't hear. But when you become whole in yourself, the energy becomes so potent. It becomes so loud. It's so overwhelming that you couldn't possibly stray away from your path. But in order to keep on your path, you have to be whole in the self. Because when you're broken into pieces, your anima and your animus, your feminine and your masculine, when it's broken into pieces or it's when it's divided, it becomes desperate. Your soul becomes desperate. Your ego really becomes desperate. Because the ego is seeking to fulfill what it's missing. The ego's like, I'm missing something. I gotta fulfill it. And the soul is back there chilling like, I got everything I need. I have everything within me that I need. And I know that I'm gonna attract what I am. I don't need anything. Would I like it? Do I want it? Do I desire it? Yes. And that's okay. It's okay to be in that space of, I don't need that, but I want that. And that's fine. And this can only come to a complete understanding that when you're whole, this is what that means. It's not saying you're hopefully healed. I'm not saying that. You're still gonna get triggered. I'm saying you're holding yourself, and you're not seeking someone else's opposite of you to get that from them. That love, whatever you feel like you're getting from somebody else when you're in a relationship from them. Whatever you feel like that is, it's different for every single one of you. So that need to fill a void, and that need to have someone else be the space holder for you that's exactly what they are. They're a space holder. Someone can't hold that space of your other half for so long because they're gonna get drained. They're gonna get drained. They're gonna get tired, boss. I can't be who you want me to be no more. I can only, because then you're having to have expectations on that person. You're gonna want them to be a certain way. But when you're whole in yourself, I don't need you to be anything but yourself. And what is yourself? Whole in you. Neither of us are draining each other because we have no expectations of an idealistic version of you that I need you to be for me. I don't need you to be anything but yourself. I don't need you to be anything but yourself. And that's big facts. I don't need you to be nothing but yourself. I don't need nothing from you. I love when you show up for me. I love when you be this version of you. And I love when you're yourself. I love when you're sweet, you're kind, you're nurturing. I love those things. That's an addition to what I already possess in me. You know? That's something I already possess in me. So I don't need that from you. I used to be in a space of neediness because I felt like I was lacking something in me. But when you become whole in self, you don't seek. The only place that you get your source of fuel from is inside. And what is that fuel? That's God, the universe. How about that? I love that. I feel like you're really becoming truly at peace with understanding that if I have the wholeness within myself, you're working towards it. If I have wholeness within myself, I don't need to seek nothing from nobody else, nothing or nobody else. So when these people who are giving you breadcrumbs come along, you're like, okay, go ahead. They ain't texting you back. They leaving you hanging. You thought you was going to hang out. They ditched you. Okay. Because that's just divine protection. Rejection is divine protection. Okay, go ahead. They want to stop texting you back. They want to not be in your life anymore. Okay. That's completely fine. I'm whole right here. But when you're not whole, you chase after those people because you want validation from the outside. But when you validate yourself internally, you don't need external validation to prove your worth, to prove that you mean something to this world. Because let me let you know something. You mean everything to this world. You have a purpose. You're meant to be here for a reason. Everyone has a purpose. You're meant to be here for a reason. And one of those purposes is you. First of all, you are your purpose. And why are you your purpose? Because your job is to be whole and complete within yourself. Because when one cell is whole and complete and healthy, that makes the whole body healthy. If each and every cell can be healthy within the cell in the body of the universe, the entire body is thriving. 222. It's 2225. But so yeah, continue to create that safe space within yourself to be happy and whole within yourself so that you're not seeking from someone else. I don't want you to seek from someone else. Spirit doesn't want you to seek from something else, because I used to always say this saying. I said, everything that you seek already exists within you, okay? And that includes wholeness and love. You're not looking for your other half. You are attracting your other whole, a reflection of who you are as an individual, as a whole individual. So that's going to be the end of the message on the light of y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hype, comment, share, subscribe. And I appreciate you for being a part of this collective and knowing that this is divinely orchestrated for you. That's going to be it for the message of the light of Jah. I'm Jah, and I'll see y'all later. Ashe and amen.